Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Carrie Muggs. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Spunky Spirit. I am psychic medium Carrie Muggs, and today in this episode we're going to talk about all things planets. So I know all of you have heard, especially lately, about Mercury Retrograde, about the eclipse season, about the full moon, the new moon, all of the things. And so we're going to kind of talk about what they really are and how they affect us spiritually, because I know I was doing Carrie Connects this week, and I kind of just feel like sometimes we think we're at the mercy of whatever energy there is. And so I'm going to kind of explain to you how that works, because we are not at the mercy of whatever energy there is. We have the magic inside of us, and we can control how we react to these energies. Sure, some of this stuff is going to be lots of energy, and for lots of sensitive people, they're going to be able to feel it. But I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of background, because once you realize kind of where it's coming from or what it's coming from, then you might understand that you kind of have control of it. You have your own magic, and you control how you react to the energy. So first, we're going to talk about Mercury Retrograde. We are in Mercury Retrograde right now. We will be until April 25th. And Mercury Retrograde, all the planets will go into retrograde, right? But we always hear about Mercury. And here's why. Because this is when a phase in Mercury where Mercury appears to move backwards. And we can see this from the Earth. So when we look at Mercury from the Earth, it appears to us that Mercury is turning the opposite direction that it's supposed to. And so this is where people think that technology and communication and all of that can go down and be bad, or it can be hard. Communication can be hard. Technology can be hard. And so a lot of people think that this can cause negative moods because communication is off, people are miscommunicating, the computer systems are down, can cause wreak havoc, and so people's moods are automatically down, which in turns increases negative emotions. So see how that works? It's like, okay, so communications can be mishandled, so maybe not communicate over text messages, and there can be episodes with your computer, so maybe just have some patience, because really what's happening is they're assuming that this is making everybody sad or mad or impatient, which is causing the collective to become impatient, which could actually be true, to be honest, because once we start, and it's just like if we're told Mercury retrograde is a bad thing, we're going to think it's a bad thing, and then we're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's Mercury retrograde, which is fine. But here's what I don't want. Don't blame things on Mercury retrograde or the new moon or the full moon, because you know what? Sure, emotions can be heavy, but this is your chance to process them and hold on to them and see how they affect you, not just give in to them and blame it on them. I have always been a big advocate of do not blame your emotions on something else. Like, it's kind of like when you're drinking, right? Like when you're drinking alcohol and you get a little bit drunk and your true feelings kind of come out and you're not nervous to say them. And so the truth comes out when you're drinking. It's kind of like this. The energy is just bringing your truth up. And so what you need to do is you need to figure out what these truths are and why they trigger you and how to process them. And they can be amplified. So if you are feeling stressed, or you are feeling sad, or you're feeling kind of off kilter during the Mercury retrograde, then yes, it can be amplified. Those feelings can be amplified. So you do need to honor that stuff. But don't go in thinking, oh, this is going to be crazy. Like everybody, this eclipse thing has gotten so out of hand almost. Like people think it's going to be the end of the world. And if you're listening to this, you know it's not, because it was yesterday, right? And you're still here and you're listening to it. So it can get kind of crazy and put things out there. And So I'm just saying, really stay grounded during these times. Yes, they have energy, but don't give them your power. Don't give it your power. Don't say, oh my gosh, it's Mercury retrograde, so we're not going to go on a trip that week. I mean, I know some horoscopes or some astrology will say, don't plan anything for Mercury retrograde, but honestly, live your life. Live your life. You have all the power. It's honestly how you react to it. It's kind of like your horoscope and astrology. It is good. I know that I'm a Sagittarius, and it's good to have an outline of like what kind of person I may be, or but I don't live by that, because Sagittariuses are flighty, and it says that they can sometimes they don't stay faithful, and that is not me. And I don't own that. I don't say that. Same with stuff like human design. It's great and you can get an outline, but don't live by it. Don't say, well, this is who I am. This is what it says I am, because you create you. God created you. God created the planets. God created all of that stuff. But you are part of that. You have that light inside of you. So you get to create you. You get to say whether or not you want that personality trait, or you get to say whether or not Mercury retrograde is going to put you in a bad mood. You get to. Now, if you're tired and people are like, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot of energy going on. It's going to make you tired." Yes, it can be. It can make you tired. So just kind of rest. Make sure you're going to rest if you seem tired. Yesterday, I was exhausted. Today, I feel like I have enough energy to do a million things. So yesterday I rested. Today, I'm doing a million things. Honor how you feel, and not go by what is going on in the planet system, okay? It is beautiful and it is magical and it does carry energy, but it doesn't control you. It doesn't control how you live. You have the magic all inside of you. So the next one is eclipses. The reason why eclipses have a lot of energy is because they symbolize what they symbolize. They symbolize a time of darkness, and they symbolize spiritual renewal, which is cool. But if you look, half of all the new moons symbolize the same thing. So here's the thing. If you believe in that, but I use it to my advantage, right? Like, I don't say, oh my gosh, it's going to be such a chaotic time. It's going to be so crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is a spiritual renewal, then I'm going to use this year for the eclipse I'm going to use this energy to like do something cool, or do something extraordinary, or to make something new. And I don't like plan it like I'm like, oh, we're going to have a 2024 eclipse, so that's when I'm going to build my business. No, I build my business when it feels right for me, and when I feel like I can create it. But if there's an eclipse coming up, then I can be like, oh my gosh, maybe I could add something else to this, or maybe I could meditate during this time, or maybe I could use that energy to renew or make some new goals, or relook at my business, or relook at my spiritual growth. So you can use that energy to your advantage. It's the same thing that I always say about Sedona. Sedona doesn't change you, but it amplifies what you're already feeling. So just make sure if you're kind of depressed and there's a solar eclipse or Mercury retrograde, it just is going to amplify that. So just be aware of that. Don't let it control you, or don't blame it. That's the big thing. Don't blame it. Own your shit. Okay. It also symbolizes the shedding of old energies. Eclipses do, discovering hidden truths. That's why everybody's kind of freaking out, because there are a lot of new truths coming out in the United States. And doing some back reading or some back stuff, I found that there was an eclipse in 1776, a total eclipse, and that's when the Declaration of Independence was signed. I couldn't get a lot of information about it. I just kind of read a little bit about it, and so a lot of people think that since it's in the U.S. this year, this eclipse is, then it's going to be a big thing for the U.S., which it totally can be, because honestly, the last eclipse that in 2017, we were in the area that you could see the total eclipse, and it was an amazing spiritual experience. You could feel the energy. It was really, really spiritual, and it was beautiful. And you couldn't deny the feeling that there's something greater around us, or something greater in charge, or different frequencies or different energies. And so that was beautiful. But I used it as a good thing, not as I used it to reevaluate. And funny story, My brother was visiting that day, and he came to our house to watch he's from Logan, Utah, and he was watching the eclipse with us. And we had my two little nieces, they're twins, and we made eclipse water. We put water out in glass jars, and during the eclipse, we put water out. We called it magic water. And so we gave everybody some magic water and told them to make a wish after the eclipse was over. And my little niece was like, I wish that when I get home, I don't have to clean my room. And we didn't know that. Nobody told anybody's wishes. So he gets home, and he got home way late because the traffic back from that eclipse was crazy. And it took hours and hours. Usually I think it's like a 2 hour drive. It took him like 4 or 5 hours. And when she got home, her mom had cleaned her room. And so the room was clean. So I'm not denying that the eclipses don't have magical, make you feel transformative. They can create amazing feelings and energy. I'm just saying, use it to your advantage. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared of it. So eclipses are going to bring out the truth. They're going to bring truth in a higher understanding. And sometimes people think that truth has been kind of scary. They think that knowing the truth can be hard. But you know what? Truth brings on growth, and the truth will set you free. And so I feel like there is truth coming, and that can be in all of different things. It can be in our personal lives, it can be in our businesses, it can be in the government, it can be cultural, it can be all these different things. And so I do believe that there is truth coming. And so that is truth. But you can use it to your advantage. Is the truth going to set me free, or is the truth going to make me scared and hide? Or is it going to make me, it's going to make me be more beautiful or more understanding? And so it can be a personal thing too. You can bring your truth, your spiritual truth out. Maybe it can change your spiritual beliefs. It can cause you to change your spiritual transformation. But when people hear that, they think they get scared, and that's kind of what I said on Carrie Connects yesterday. They think that it's a scary time, or so Carrie Connects was perfect for this week because of the eclipse, because it's all inside of you. It's all inside of you. How you handle this transformational energy is up to you. You get to create who you are. You get to create the new person or the truths, or how you handle or how you react to the things. So is it uncommon for people to want to get back together with their exes during Mercury retrograde? It's not, because your emotions are coming back up, and you're wondering if you made a mistake, or you're wondering how that would have reacted. Or how things would have been differently, and your emotions, because you're still holding on to that relationship. So that just is bringing up to you, you need to let it go. It's time to let it go, right? So that's why eclipses and Mercury retrogrades hold so much energy for you. Now, also full moons. Full moons are another one. Every time I feel like I'm doing a full moon post or a new moon post, I'm always like, it's time for a new beginning. It's time for a new beginning. Every month, it comes in cycles, right? Just like women's menstrual stuff comes in cycles. This isn't coincidental. There is some truth behind it, but sometimes it can hold a negative thing around it. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, the energy is so crazy. I don't even want to do this, or I can't even do this, because you're blaming that energy. Like, own it. Own that the energy is crazy. Own that you can still, the one thing I do want you to do though, is if you do feel tired and you do feel overwhelmed, honor that. But if you do feel energetic and fun and renewal, honor that. Whatever you're feeling, these things are going to be amplified during these stages, because there is some energy transformation, but you need to honor it for you. Don't let anybody else tell you how you feel. Don't let everybody else tell you that Mercury retrograde is going to be crazy, or the eclipse is going to be crazy. You honor your feelings and how you're going to create and what you're going to create from that. So full moons, yes, they do control the tides of the ocean. The tides are higher and lower. The reason why is because at the time, the gravity from the moon and the sun are pulling together. They're aligned. So they're pulling together on the earth, and they pull in the same direction. So usually during the moon, they're not pulled in the same direction. Now, I do admit, I know that there is different kind of energy around full moons. There are. Teachers can feel it, and hospitals can feel it. And that's why, lunar things get named Luna after stuff after the moon, the full moon. So there's no denying that there's energy to the full moon, but use it to your advantage. Do sacred ceremonies during this time, during full moon. That's why I always like every full moon. I don't do something elaborate, like I don't like put on costumes and make an altar, but I do write down every month what my goals are for the next month, or what I want to accomplish spiritually and through family and with emotional and through business. I do use that energy to catapult me. You can use that energy. That's why there's full moon circles where people would dance naked under the moonlight, because it does have an energy. But you can use it how you create it, like create it yourself. That's what I'm saying is we get so caught up in listening to how everybody thinks we should be. This is how our horoscope says we should be. This is how our human design says we should be. This is how our star map said we should be. And this is how the people with the eclipse energy says we should be. And it's you. You get to create. Put down the social media. Put down what other people say it means for you, and meditate and find it yourself. Find the answers in yourself. It's okay to use that as a guide or a mentorship, but honestly, even it's just like I say with psychic stuff, future can change. You create your future. So if I'm telling you in a reading that you're going to get a job promotion and you get super excited and you drink a whole bunch of wine and you go to work that day, you're not going to get the promotion, right? You still have choices. You create your destiny. You are co-creator with the creator. So take all of this with a grain of salt. If you're like nervous about all the energies, I think the energy is beautiful. And so I'm going to create something beautiful from it, not you get those letters like, oh, I know things have been crazy. Well, they have been, but you know what? What are you going to create from that? And if it does feel chaotic and, tired for you, then rest. That is an indication that you need to rest, because I'm the type that's just like, you know what? I'm going to use this to catapult me to the other side. I'm going to do this. And then there's times when I'm like, I'm too tired for this crap. So I'm just going to rest this one out. Really listen to you. Listen to what it's telling you. It's fun and it's entertainment to read. And that's why I have to put an entertainment thing on my readings, because you can't, even my readings, like no mediumship reading or psychic reading is 100% accurate, because you can interpret it wrong, right? So other people can interpret your energy wrong. So human design and I'm not putting down human design because it's a good outline for people. It's just not for me. It's the same thing with like the enneagrams or the personality tests that you take. They're great to get an outline of who you can work with or who you are. But at the end of the day, you get to create that person. Like you get to create. If this one says, I'm super obnoxious and I have a big personality and I want to control people, I can change that. So you are your own creator. You get to create what you want. So you get to design what you want. So you are in control of your magic. And so don't get so caught up in all the things that people say it has to be this way or it's this way. If you went by that, then the world would have ended yesterday by some of TikTok's things. Now, I will admit too that, this eclipse, there was a couple of earthquakes in the United States right before this eclipse. And just, even the different things that happened, the disasters that happened at the bridge and the boat, I don't know. Is that all like coincidental? Is it all part of the energy? It could be. It really could be, honestly, because it's the Earth's movements, the Earth, like we said, the moons can control the tides. Who's to say that those earthquakes weren't created by the eclipse, the energy of the eclipse somehow, but it could be created by us, because we're told, oh my gosh, the energy's so chaotic, the energy's so this, the energy's so that, and we fall into that and we believe that and we create that, because the collective energy is the strongest energy. It's so powerful. And so when we all believe the same thing, we can create that together. Our powerful and magic inside of us for our own lives is great, but as a collective, we can change the dynamics. We are very powerful as a collective. And so if our social media is telling us it's chaotic, it's crazy, and we fall into that, it's going to be chaotic and crazy. If our social media is telling us that Mercury retrograde is bad and negative and nuts, we're going to believe that, and it's going to be nuts. So create your own dynamic. You create what you want. Don't let those outside sources tell you how it's going to be, because you create what you want. And don't let the collective rise above it. Rise your frequency. Rise. If the collective seems to be hard and negative, don't be part of that. Rise above that. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it makes it so you realize you are in control of your destiny. You have all the power you need already inside of you. So yeah, I just want you to know you are so powerful. If you knew how powerful you were, you would just be, it would shock you. Like, it's just, I can't even tell you how much power that you have inside of yourself to create what you want or what you love or what you need in your life. It's just we get bombarded by all this outside stuff, and we lose faith in ourselves, and we lose faith in God or all of that stuff. So I love you guys so much. Be sure to look at my events coming up for the next couple months. I do have another Night of Spirit event, I think, coming up May 16th. That's local, but I am going to start having some of those online. I also have an online spirit guides class coming up, and also another class, Step Into Your Power. This is going to be more of a mediumship course, or how to connect to your own power, how to focus on your own connection, and it's for intermediate and beginning alike. They're going to be awesome classes. I love teaching. So I'm going to start having these classes monthly. One will be online every month, and one will be local. Some of the stuff will be local, so be sure to, you can check that on my events page on Eventbrite. I'll put the link down below this podcast today, so you can go and register for these events and show up. I would love to see you there. So I love you guys so much, and I know you've got this. I know you have everything you need already inside of you. So be beautiful, be kind, and remember that I love you and I mean it.